So, I don't know how to have an intro for this yet because I don't know what I'm going to do with it after I go after this episode. But I just wanted to get on and talk about a particular thing, which is Call of Duty. The Modern Warfare 3 beta just recently ended. The acquisition of Microsoft acquiring the company, Activision itself, is now officially done, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about, really. And I just wanted to speak my mind on things because why not? Because everybody else does it. But I guess I wanted to give my perspective of it in a way, because my thing about it is for the fact that I Call of Duty for me wasn't a big thing, really. Like, if we wanted to go history wise into it, let's say Call of Duty 4 through Modern Warfare 3, and I'm talking about the original, not the current one, not the one that's coming out this year, were the games that I played, and I only played campaign. Never touched multiplayer, never touched zombies for the Treyarch versions, which would be World at War and Black Ops 1. And I didn't want, and I only cared about playing the campaign, and that was it, because it was just the one. It was the only. I only cared about single player stuff, story stuff at the time. When it came to gaming for me and all that stuff, multiplayer was very low. Was no expectation, no wanting it for it in a way. I never. And it's not that I didn't care for it. It's more the fact that it was more in the. I'd rather put that in the back burner. So on stuff. I would say. So then between then. So after Modern Warfare 3 and afterwards, I never touched Call of Duty since then. I maybe did probably one beta on one of the games. I don't remember which one. But I would say I did start again with Black Ops 4 from and everything, but I guess you can say I officially went back and I came back into COD as a whole thing itself with Modern Warfare 2019, and that's playing the campaign also, but lasting longer by playing the multiplayer because I actually had a fun time with it. And then of course Warzone launched, and of course there's that and everything. Didn't play Warzone as much as I wanted to during that period of time, but it was after that Cold War, Vanguard, now Modern Warfare 2, and all that stuff. Warzone has been on and off, but I've also played the multiplayers for all the games that have come out since then. I've played zombies for Cold War, and that was my first true experience of zombies, dealing with the Easter eggs and everything like that and all that stuff. I mean, zombies on Vanguard, there's a lot of people can talk about what they want, how they feel about that and disrespected about it, but for me, it was all right, but I never engaged in it more for that. But now, fast forward to now, let's just say, with Modern Warfare 3 now coming out in November, we just got done with the beta. I've played on both weekends for this, and I have a few things I want to talk about, and I just like to say I had a fun time and everything, especially the changes for me were I did have to get used to for that, and it took a while. First weekend I felt a little shaky because with the movement back and everything, it was something to get used to again. By the end of the second weekend, I felt like I was getting the grab of it and understanding it a bit more, for me at least, and everything. Because I guess you can say I can call myself more of a casual than it is a player, but then again, it's I'm heavily invested in this franchise now than I was my first time around with it, and everything. But I had a good time. I enjoyed what I liked. I want to see so if I had guns in particularly, I would say the MCW, the Striker, and then the Renetti after you use the aftermarket conversion to make it into an SMG. Uh, I never I never touched any of the gear stuff fully and everything because it was a little confusing at first to know what was what. Um, but I always kept it to a point of just keeping what was like most of the default stuff, just to play around and just to get the hang of the game again and all that stuff. And I'll probably do more experimentation once the game fully comes out for that stuff and everything. But I had a good time with it. I'm thinking that I'm thinking I had that it, I think the whole thing with movement being back and people gonna be complaining about it and such and everything. I think it's a little blown over, over the top. I don't think that I don't think that people should complain about it as much. Really, it's just a skill thing, and it's really that thing of you have to adapt, really, or is in terms before like I forget the movie or TV show it was, adapt or die, pretty much. I don't know, and everything, and there's nothing wrong with that, really, and all that stuff. Yeah, you probably there's probably people that play this game for like maybe a good small amount of time, but if you can still, I think it's worth getting used to it and learning it and all that stuff. Um, I feel like the approach of how Modern Warfare 2 went was different and strange and all that stuff because like how I see about it, really and all that stuff, I think it's just more the fact of the developer at the time that was running that game, and of course it being Modern Warfare, it is Infinity Ward, and I actually think I think with like this is not, I'm not surprised by it because I always since Modern Warfare 2019, I always got this feeling like I don't think Infinity Ward wants to approach what the community wants as much. I feel like it's something they want to show. Like this can be different in a way, but doesn't understand the fact that Call of Duty has a certain fundamental to it and everything already, and with it already, and it shouldn't changing it from something so fast to something really slow was not the right move for them and all that stuff. And of course, you have Sledgehammer, who is now leading the way for Modern Warfare 3 this year. They're making all bringing back what was there. That made everything fun about it, that fundamental part fun again. For it, and I think that's going to be the same thing when Treyarch brings out their next game out, whether it be something within Black Ops or something different related to it. No matter what, I feel like it's going to be something interesting. But I'm glad that the movement is back. I feel it'll bring out a difference between the players, the skill gap, as they say, for that stuff. I'm excited for it. I am more in the camp of having the movement than what we saw in Modern Warfare 2 and in Warzone 2, particularly. People should just. I think it's just something to get. Here's the thing. Like here's what about it. It's I'm adapting to this back to this style again, but I'm having a good time because I'm more thinking and figuring out what can I do to make myself better. Sure, it probably doesn't show it if someone someone was watching it on my streams, but at the same time, it's just more of the fact that like I am learning while I'm playing and all that stuff, and wanting to do better and wanting to make sure I'm more better at it and to a point where I feel like I've hit my ceiling. Though I think it for that time, especially at my age, I don't know that stuff, and no one should be upset about that. No one should complain about that, really, and everything. It's just I'm not that person. That's like a lot of people were like complaining about. I mean, no, that was cheering for the fact that the movement was gone in Modern Warfare 2 and all that stuff and everything. I was thinking to myself, I've always told myself like, nah, like the movement needs to be there for a fact. It brings a skill gap between the style of players, different play styles and all that stuff for players in general. And I'm glad that it's back for that. Hopefully we'll see where that go, and then hopefully when launch comes, we'll see what happens with people on how people perceive it with the movement back. Now, when it comes to the maps that we played, again, multiplayer, I don't have the same. What's the word I'm looking for? Emotional. I don't. I guess you could say emotional attachment to it, as other people were back with these classic classic Modern Warfare 2 maps that are coming into Modern Warfare 3. I don't have that kind of emotional attachment, so I'm coming into this with like with a fresh look. Like, these are my first time experiencing these maps, really. And what was it? Favela, Estate, Skid Row, Rust, and High Rise. If I'm saying those correctly, if I remember correctly from the beta, I could have been wrong. I could be wrong on this, but I think outside of Rust, because I'm used to Rust. Rust was in Modern Warfare 2019, as a seasonal map that came out later. I understand why people like High Rise. And then Estate is people. I see where people can be upset about it, but for some weird reason, it's the map I've somewhat enjoyed in a way. And that could change when launch comes and how we fully play it out more with more and all that stuff more and more and everything. But I would say outside of Rush, I like High Rise. I'm okay with the state, but we'll see where that goes. Favela, I like the structure of it and everything. I don't know how I feel about playing in it though. It's just something weird about it, especially in the middle part of the map and everything. And then what did I say? Favela, Estate, High Rise, Rust, Skid Row. Skid Row was the other one. Skid Row took me a while to get used to and to actually somewhat enjoy it in a way and all that stuff. I was recently listening to a different podcast, and they were mentioning there was a certain part in Skid Row that didn't exist in the older map, like a certain area, apparently, and it's opened up now in this version for Modern Warfare 3. And I didn't know about that, so it's like, oh, okay. So there's some differences at least, and I'll probably learn about that more by checking out more people's listening from other people's perspectives of the beta or when the game comes out. But in my experience so far, I've been enjoying it. The maps are okay. I'm looking forward to checking out the other ones once the game fully launches. But I think it's just more of the fact of what's going to happen, what we're going to do, how we're going to feel about how this game going to feel come launch. Is there going to be nerfs to the movement from what people are saying? Are we going to get? Apparently, the Striker did get a nerf in the second week of the beta, but it still felt powerful for what I played on it, because I only started playing it in the second weekend. I was only using the MCW and the Renetti. That was like my main class. The MCU with the Renetti, but the Renetti had the aftermarket part, but that converts it into an SMG. And I actually enjoyed using that when I converted it to the when I converted the Renetti to an SMG. It didn't make me want to use overkill, and plus I was able to free up. I was in a way made it easier to do loadouts and all stuff. Though again, like with the whole new gear system and everything, and how the perks work for them, I didn't delve more into it, which I should have. But I think that's just more because there's not a lot there. There wasn't a lot there. Hopefully, when launch comes, we'll play a little bit more on it and all that stuff. And then, best thing I can say about everything is how everything will feel come Warzone, the next version of Warzone for the new map and all that stuff, because we not only will have the new guns will have MW2 guns, which also will be carrying over to the multiplayer for Modern Warfare 3, which is going to be very, very interesting on that and all that stuff. And I have the one thing about that, which is now bringing this up, like on a content perspective of what this launches. If someone were to ask me right now after playing the beta ask me, is this worth $70? I would actually tell them, I can't give you an honest answer on that, and that is why, because I've only played one portion of this game and all that stuff. I have and all that stuff. See, now, every time when I heard something about like this is just a $7 DLC. This is when they're only referencing the multiplayer for the maps and everything. And I was like, I don't think I can agree with that statement in a way. If you're if you're only basing on the price point without basing it only on multiplayer. When it comes to me for games and buying them and all that stuff, it depends on what I'm getting and all that stuff. Now, Call of Duty is an interesting perspective because there's a lot of stuff that comes in it. So with Modern Warfare 3 in particularly, you're getting not just the multiplayer with the 16 maps and new guns. You're also getting a campaign, which is also different in itself, where they're providing more open world style based missions in a way and all that stuff, where you're in a certain area, you can pretty much do whatever you want in a way, and then do certain missions within it and all that stuff for that stuff. So the multiplayer is going to be a little bit different this time around. We have the Modern Warfare Zombies, which is going to come out. It is going to be open. It is a more open world based on the new Warzone map that's coming out later that after Modern Warfare 3. So it's more of a taste. So we get to have like a little test drive on the new map before it fully comes to Warzone. And I think it's very interesting. It's supposed to have a PvE aspect to it, where you and your team, or you can go if you're going solo, and then there's going to be other teams around the area doing certain things, and you need to make sure you get out within a certain time period and all that stuff. So I think I'm very interested in trying to get out before the fact that this is something more interesting than what it was on Vanguard and all that stuff. Now, and then of course there are the people that are somewhat saying, well, this isn't regular zombies, which is the round base over and over and all that stuff and everything, with the more zombies coming at you. And how I feel about it is like, that's fine and all that stuff. If I wanted a round base zombies gameplay style kind of thing, I will wait till the next Black Ops or Treyarch developed Call of Duty game when that comes out, and that's most likely in 2024. So for that, so we are gonna get that. It's just, I feel like what they wanted to do something different when it came to not just within Modern Warfare 3, but also within zombies, and it provides that experimentation of sorts to see what can they, hopefully it lessons learned is not just from Vanguard, but what can they also learn from within Modern Warfare Zombies to get them ready for their next set of round based stuff when that Call of Duty comes out for that time and everything. And I think that's going to be fine. I think that's fine. Like, the last round base was back in 2020. It's going to be almost 4 years since then. I think that's fine and all that stuff. I feel like people are like a little itching too much about it. Hold on. Let me retract about what I said. What I meant is that they're itching to try to have zombies again, and of course, you're gonna be someone's gonna be upset about the fact that it's not coming and all that stuff within Modern Warfare 3 at least, and that's fine. But that's fine and all that stuff. But at the same time, it's like give something new, something experimental. Hopefully, you'll get more fans to come in and experience zombies, not just in a different way, but also to let them know it's like, hey, there's more zombie content within older Call of Duties, within the older Call of Duties and all that stuff, and that's going to lead into my next point. Really, now, because it's like, and that's with the acquisition now. Now that Call of Duty is now under the under Xbox now, after Microsoft officially closed the acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, um, and everything. So Microsoft owns Activision Blizzard. It owns the Call of Duty franchise. Though, of course, to bring in a few things for everyone to listen, Call of Duty's not leaving PlayStation. It's staying on. It's staying on there. It's gonna come to future Nintendo platforms. There's a chance we're gonna see it on cloud platform providers such as like GeForce Now and everything. And then of course, the one cool, interesting thing about it is gonna be that it's gonna be on Game Pass. So Xbox Game Pass. So if you happen to be playing Modern Warfare 3 and all that stuff, and you actually enjoy the zombies mode and everything, and you want to play more zombie content, soon as those games are officially on Game Pass, they'll be able to go back to them and play those older ones, whether it be from World at War, or any of the Black Ops games, the more recent one from Call of Duty, from Black Ops Cold War and everything. There'll be that opportunity for them and everything. Now, as of right now, we were told that don't expect any Activision Blizzard games coming to Game Pass within 2023. Hopefully in 2024, that's when we'll start seeing them. I'm hope my pretty much my prediction of what's going to happen is, I think all Call of Duty games going from Call of Duty 1, and I mean the very first one, to, let's say, Black Ops 4. I'm gonna go Black Ops 4. That time period right there of games are coming into Game Pass. I don't think we'll see Modern Warfare 2019, Black Ops Cold War, Vanguard, and then the more recent Modern Warfare 2 and even Modern Warfare 3 come to Game Pass within that time period. I think that'll probably be after, say, next year's Call of Duty comes out. And that's probably more of a contractual thing that PlayStation had with those games in particular. But I could be wrong on that and all that stuff. For that stuff, and I could be wrong on that. So, but I do feel like throughout 2024, you'll see those classic Call of Duty games get added into Game Pass between now and then. Between in 2024, but at least before the next Call of Duty for that. And another cool thing about this is the fact that we are no longer getting PlayStation exclusive content. That is officially gone. No more of that. No more and everything. So this exclusive offer that's coming to Modern Warfare 3 is the final exclusive thing that's there. I know there's like some like benefits where PlayStation players get like a day early access of double XP before a double XP weekend, in particularly. That's gonna be a thing. There's another thing, like if you party with other PlayStation players or players in general, it increases your XP leveling. That's gonna be gone, in particularly. The exclusive operators are gonna be gone, which is good and everything. And I think that's gonna be beneficial to what they'll provide, and to bring that kind of parity to, because I think with Call of Duty in particular, I don't think it no longer needs that exclusivity deal kind of thing anymore, and everything. We've experienced it during the 360 and early Xbox One, and then games, and then of course time, and then now from PS4 to PS5. Though from that time period when it was exclusive, when the early content was on there, I think we've gotten to that point now where let everyone enjoy Call of Duty the way it is. Everyone should be able to access any kind of piece of content, and then of course when the beta happens, everyone's able to play it all at once. We don't have to wait for a long period of times and all that stuff. And also, we don't need to see exclusive content be exclusive content, because I tell you not, When I found out that the whole when the Modern Warfare 2 exclusive operator, the Oni skin operator, was not just exclusive to PlayStation, but only available within PlayStation. Where it's like if you were in a game with other players that are on different platforms and all that stuff, your Oni skin will only be visible to PlayStation players only and everything. And that was the most craziest thing in the world when I found out about that last year. And for that stuff, because that was just weird. I think before that, it was just more of like, I know Cold War had like there was exclusive zombie mode that was only for PlayStation players. And then Modern Warfare 2019, there was exclusive, what was it? Exclusive Spec Ops mode. And I don't think, I don't remember what was for Vanguard. I don't remember Vanguard as much for that one. But all that kind of bullcrap is gone. We don't need it. It's going to be gone. Everything's going to be available to you no matter what, and everything. I hope we still get the like a vault edition of sorts. You'll probably see like, I know with if for PlayStation players, there was always an exclusive PlayStation Plus skin. I hope they still do that, where it'll be on PlayStation. There's a free skin every season for PlayStation Plus and Game Pass Ultimate members. It'll be on both subscription services. I hope they do that still for that in particularly, where it's a free skin of a certain operator each year. I mean each season, and hopefully we don't get to see like. Hopefully we get to see other things. I'm sure there'll probably be like, say if next year there's like a Vault edition for next year and all that stuff, but it's still gonna be like the $100 overall if you want to pay for the whole thing and all that stuff. But for Game Pass members, since it's gonna be like technically like early access to campaign at least and everything like that, it'll probably be like a $30 fee if you already that's if next year's Call of Duty goes to Game Pass. It's gonna be on Game Pass too. So that's just the if about it. Will we see it? I don't know. I'm hoping we'll see. I hope we'll find more. We'll get more details next year on how that's going to work. Now, the one thing I've been hearing about lately, really, it's more of like where does how did the development of Call of Duty is going to work now after Call of Duty? Because a lot of people were saying, because like the fact that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like not 8 to 9 development studios working on Call of Duty itself, and to some exception, there's a reason for it, and all that stuff. There's a lot of I've been hearing on a lot of different podcasts. Like these are more broader gaming podcasts that deals with more like with the industry itself, not just within Call of Duty. There were a lot of people talking about how some of these studios are going to be freed up to do whatever they want to now and all that stuff. I think it's going to be difficult in the short term for the fact that it's like we already have Call of Duty coming out next year. There's a plan. There's also the idea of they're going to do the whole back-to-back kind of thing for Black Ops for the next 2 years, similar to what they did with Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3 right now. And I'm very interested of what I'm going to say. Now, a lot of the developers were more of the support studios they were talking about, such as like Toys for Bob, Raven Studios, Beanox, to name those ones in particularly. Now, for Raven, they are the sole developer on Warzone, so I can see a separate team working on Warzone particularly, and then maybe another team working on another game. Maybe that might be the plan. Toys for Bob, they do more support. If I remember correctly, they've done maps for Warzone. They've done the Vonda one. I think they did Fortune's Keep. I don't remember if they also did Ashika Island. I could be wrong on that. Like they were more of the lead developers on those particular smaller resurgence maps. And I mean, it's like I said, it's pop. I think what it is, and there's also Beanox who does the PC version of the Call of Duty games, all in particular, and help out on Warzone also. I think what I'm hearing like I think there's a way where they can still support on Call of Duty in general, and within war, I think part of with more within Warzone and particularly, and but also be able to do a brand new game, whether it be an existing IP within Activision or a brand new game itself, for that. But when it comes to the main three, which is Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, if I had to pick a developer out of those three that should just separate from Call of Duty in general, like overall, I think that's Infinity Ward. Now, you can go ahead and think for the fact, well, that's the development that created Call of Duty. True, that is true, but this is the same Infinity Ward that created the very original Call of Duty and everything. So this is a whole different team and all that stuff. And based off from like just Modern Warfare 2019 and even call it within Modern Warfare 2, the more in 2022, all that stuff. It seems like they want to do something on it seems like they want to create something different, but they're just doing it within Call of Duty and all that stuff, which is understandable. But like I said, Call of Duty has now a fundamental groundwork of what the game is supposed to be for that stuff, and that's whether it's especially within Warzone, within the multiplayer and all that stuff, and then when any of the extra modes that are there for that, and particularly like I don't know stuff like I don't know if it'll be tough for them to leave Call of Duty, but I feel like if anyone was interested of separating themselves from Call of Duty in particularly, it would be Infinity Ward and everything and all that stuff. I feel like they want to do something more separate and away from Call of Duty, something on their own. Now there is rumors that they're supposed to be working on a separate game. They are working on a separate game for that stuff, and maybe that's possibly true. But I think maybe putting them away, like just separating them from Call of Duty in general, will probably be the best bet and all that stuff. Like I feel like with Treyarch, Sledgehammer, even Raven now, since they're headlining, since they had Warzone, I do feel like they are the more what's the word I can think of, community friendly type of developers when it comes to making changes and doing what's best, not just for the game, but also for the community itself and everything. And hopefully and then making sure they make a good game, not just within the initial launch, but also throughout the seasons and everything. Because remember now with Call of Duty now, it goes through different seasons. There's no map pack and that's it and everything like that, like it used to be. These are now where the seasons come out. The maps are pretty much free. It's all within the battle pass. Within a battle pass, if you want to get the new guns and all that stuff, or any additional content for that. But I believe for the fact that this is going to be something that's going to be totally different. And now that they're under Microsoft, and I think we're seeing, there's a lot of things about saying like Call of Duty should just go biannual, and I think we're kind of seeing that in a way right now, and all that stuff, because it's like, oh, there just should be they're not doing it. They should stop doing it every 2 years, every 3 years, or anything like that. Well, I think we're seeing that spread between the games themselves, because like I said, right now 2022 is Modern Warfare 2, 2023, this year we're getting Modern Warfare 3. The rumor is for the next 2 years it's going to be back-to-back Black Ops titles for that, and I think that's what they're trying to do, where you'll get, so particularly how it should run. For as an example, currently Modern Warfare 2 in 2022, it goes through its seasons and everything with its content and everything and all that stuff, and then we get the direct sequel, which is Modern Warfare 3, and then the seasons throughout that, and then it flips over to the next title, which will probably be Black Ops, and wherever it's going to be set there. Now, most likely Treyarch is going to lead Black Ops. Will they do back-to-back games? It's going to be interesting to see what they do. Or most likely they'll probably have Sledgehammer help them out throughout that process and what they can do for that game. It's going to be interesting. It's also going to be interesting about, if I going back to the whole $70 purchase thing, DLC purchase thing, like it doesn't matter. I don't. It has to. The only reason why it makes sense to be $70, because again, what's in the package itself, within the game itself. Campaign most likely, multiplayer with maps and everything like that, and guns, particularly, and of course, excuse me, sorry, and of course, whatever the third mode's gonna be. Right now, like for Modern Warfare 2, it was campaign, multiplayer, spec ops, and then raids throughout the season. Throughout the seasons, because you can only play the raids if you owned Modern Warfare 2. So that was the thing. How now for right now in Call it and Modern Warfare 3, when it comes out in November, it's gonna be campaigns, multiplayer, and then zombies, and then most likely the same thing when the next Black Ops title comes out next in 2024 for that. So it's gonna be hopefully will there be a cadence. There was Game Beats article that I had read talking about how the president of Activision, not Bobby Kotick, it's a different guy. He was talking about how they have a plan laid out for Call of Duty until 2027, I believe it was what it said in the article. So we're expecting some COD between now and 2027, and also within a 3 to 4 year span for that. And we're what's going to be interesting to see what's going to look like after 2027. Now with it now being under Microsoft and all that stuff. I feel like coming back to the whole $70 purchase. I think you're not paying $70 for just a glorified map pack. You're playing multiplayer for a different story, a new story. You're also playing for within that thing a multiplayer with updated changes and new maps, and then zombies, which will probably get updated throughout the seasons too, and all that stuff also. So I don't know. I'm just spitballing here, just letting things out on how I feel about this and what I think is going to happen with Call of Duty in particularly, because like I am invested in Call of Duty now than I was before, and I will say it's like Modern Warfare 2 does feel like a step backwards, and it doesn't feel as fun because it feels like you're just dealing with the same thing over and over when it comes to play styles and everything. So there's no creativity to it on what you want to, on what can happen. Also now with Modern Warfare 3, when it comes out in November, I do feel like there's a little more there can be a little more creativity to your gameplay for that stuff, and I'm excited for it. I know I didn't talk about also didn't talk about Warzone enough for when the new map comes out, but I think that's something to wait for until we actually get to play it. Because seeing what I did watch Call of Duty Next, the event where they previewed everything, showed it and everything, and seeing the new map, it looks interesting. Watching some of the players play, it's cool and all, but I don't think I can. And hearing what they talked about it so far, it's more like it just feels like Modern Warzone 2, just with everything added in. But then again, it's like I don't know that for sure until I actually play it come December, I believe, for when season 1 of that series goes through. But yeah, but other than that, this is my first episode of a podcast that I don't have a name yet for, and hopefully we'll try to do this again. Don't know if I want to do this weekly or if something just comes up and I feel like I want to talk about it. I'm probably going to do another episode going more broader into the Activision Blizzard deal itself, and just talking about what's there and all that stuff. I wanted to bring it up in Call of Duty because I feel like it's going to be something that's going to be brought up now, especially with Modern Warfare 3 coming out and everything like that. Though it is not coming to Game Pass at launch, also, which is not surprising and everything, particularly of how the deal went and took so long. But yeah, my name's Ricky. Thank you for listening to this and everything. I don't know what podcast is going to be on once I get this uploaded. You'll probably, if you're hearing this on Spotify, awesome. If you're hearing this on other platforms yet, even more cool and all that stuff. Don't forget, I think for Spotify particularly, you can drop a like, leave comments, let us know, helps us out. And yeah, See you guys for the next episode. Peace.